meeting of the South Berkeley Board of Education together at 6:30. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is roll call. Mr. Secretary, would you call the roll, please?
Yes. Anthony Johnson.
Present.
Lori Hicks.
Present.
Amanda Flesher.
Present.
Cheryl Flesher.
Present.
Keisha Early.
Present.
Daniel Winston, present. Shirley Tolliver.
Present. Next item on the agenda is the approval of agenda. Are there any corrections to the agenda? There are none. The agenda will be as written. Next item on the agenda is Superintendent Communications. Mr. Bob.
Thank you, Madam President. Congratulations are in order to teacher leader and multilingual services coordinator, Mr. Sean Salmonen, who presented an engaging session at the recent Michigan Association for Bilingual Education conference just this past Friday. And the session was entitled Doing More with Less, Using an Artificial Intelligence Supported Lesson to Cycle and Strengthen the English Language Arts, English Language Learner Program, as well as language development through English language learners. And Mr. Salmonen did a phenomenal job representing the South Redford School District in the state of Michigan's bilingual conversation and leading learning for others and for all at the recent conference on Friday. So congratulations are in order to Mr. Salmonen. Additionally, it's that time of the year where we have a number of graduation festivities that will soon begin, as recently as Thursday of this week, taking place at Western Golf and Country Club at 5:30, where we will come together to celebrate our graduates from Thurston High School who will be graduating with the highest honors over at Western Golf and Country Club on Thursday of this week at 5:30. And so a friendly reminder to board members that if you have not issued your RSVP yet to Monique Kincaid, that you would please do so. And then also taking place this week on Friday over at Fisher, we have Arts, Beats, Eats, and Reading taking place over at Fisher from 5 until 7. And then I would also like to issue a friendly reminder to the Board of Education that we have 2 additional board meetings coming up that are noted there on your agenda this evening, given the upcoming Memorial Day holiday, which would be the regular sequence for our board meeting. So we'll be together again next Monday and then again on the 20th. And that concludes my communications this evening, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Bob. Next item on the agenda is board communications.
To the chair,
Yes?
just piggybacking off of what Mr. Bob said, there is also a choir concert tomorrow night and a band concert on the 19th for Thurston. And then we had gotten an email about which board member is going to speak at commencement. Do we know who that's going to be at? Or is that in the works? Choir is the 12th, band is the 19th. And then we got an email about whoever's going to speak at graduation, as well as who's presenting the board scholarship at the dinner on Thursday. To think about.
Anybody, is there anybody that would like to speak at the graduation? Who's going?
To the chair, I mean, if you want me to speak, I will. I'm not, I mean.
Thank you.
I will if you.
Okay.
I will.
Thank you.
To the chair.
Yes?
I won't be at the dinner
Okay.
because my mom comes in tonight. I'll be out Thursday. I should be probably in Saginaw.
All right, thank you. Is there anything anybody else would like Daniel reads this letter.
Take my reading glasses. Dear President Tolliver and members of the Board of Education, it was an honor to be invited back to serve the South Redford School District and this Board of Education during the recent contract extension negotiations with South Redford Education Association. As many of you know, bargaining is an aspect of educational leadership that I personally enjoy the least. However, my willingness to step in this role again is a testament to the deep respect and care I have for this district, its administration, and each of you on the board. South Redford is truly a special place that deserves the highest level of commitment for those of us who have called it home, whether personally or professionally. Reflecting on my previous tenure as assistant superintendent, I am reminded of how much the board invested in my professional development. The negotiation training and the guidance for exceptional mentors during those years were formative. Many of the skills I utilize today in my role as CEO of GrowthWorks, overcoming adversity, collaborating with teams, navigating board relations, and solving complex problems was first practiced and refined right here in South Redford. I also want to express my sincere gratitude for the kindness you've shown me over the years. So many of you, as well as former trustees like Baker, Dowdy, Merzarowski, and Kangas, were incredibly supportive of both me and my family. The sense of community is what makes this district unique and is why South Redford will always hold a special place in my heart. Thank you again for the opportunity to serve the superintendent and this board. I am proud to have assisted in this process and look forward to this district's continued success. Go Eagles! Nick Griswold, CEO, GrowthWorks.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is comments from the audience, topics related to the agenda.
None.
There are none. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Do I have a board member willing to adopt the consent agenda?
To the chair, I'd like to move the adoption of the following resolution, please.
Do I have a support? It's been moved by Mrs. Fletcher, supported by Mrs. Early. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays, resolution adopted. The next item on the agenda is report Thurston High School Student Council.
Thank you, Madam President. So at this time, we have several graduating seniors that are here for one of their final reports to members of the South Redford Board of Education, as well as audience members that are here tonight. And so, without further ado, I will turn it over to members of the Thurston High School Student Council.
Hi everyone. Thank you guys for having student council back at the board meetings today.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much. If you haven't or you don't know who I am, I'm Nicholas Hobson. I'm the senior student council president of my class. This is
I'm Dentia Cisse. I'm the public relations officer.
I'm Chloe Suggs. I'm the vice president.
I'm glad my wonderful council can be here with me today to help me present and report back to what student council is planning on doing and has done in the past few weeks here. So first, I'm going to start off with the talent show results. Absolutely wonderful. The talent show was a wonderful night. Okay, and I've heard from some teachers that has been at Thurston for like quite a while now, that past talent shows haven't been as good. There's been negative results from talent shows 18 years ago. And so to know that we have done such a wonderful job like 20 years later now, just emphasizes the impact that student council has had on students this year and will continue to have under the right kind of mindset that student council, or that I hope student council has going into the future as well here. And so with events like that and determination, we can really create new things. And I think the talent show was a great step into the future of student council and the interaction from the rest of the student body in school. So thank you.
I just wanted to say a little bit about the talent show. I feel like the talent show, like Nick said, was a great stepping stone because a lot of people didn't think it was going to turn out how it did. Like, it was some negative thoughts around it because of whatever happened 18 years ago. So I feel like us showing like we can be respectful towards the school and also have fun really shows what student council can do and what we can do as a school. It opens us to a lot of opportunities, like a lot of fun more opportunities that we can have for our students.
Another thing before we go on to our next topic in our presentation here about Senior Sunset. I've seen at the talent show there was an abundance of students that came, surprisingly, and a lot of parents that came as well. And so honestly, going into that, I didn't think I would get a lot of people to come to the talent show there. But it was like a small group of people for like the musicals. And so we made quite the sum amount of income from that. I don't know the exact amount, I apologize. But I know we made quite the income from that event. Hello.
Okay, so as the seniors close out their year, we're planning to have a senior barbecue. This is gonna happen June 1st, the day of graduation in person. And it was presented by a representative from Kennedy. So we're planning to have it the day of Senior Sunset on June.
Yeah, June 1st.
And yeah, so we want it later in the day at about like 6:30 when the sun is going. It will happen on the football field right out there where the concessions are. That's like where the concession area are where we're gonna have a barbecue. And on the field we tend to have like games, activities. We also wanna have like bounce houses, little things to kind of bring us back to our childhood. So we need permission to do this. We have to ask Mr. Hughes because he doesn't really play by the football. And we love for them to help us with food, bring the food, cooking, hopefully, and Mr. Hughes. Who and why is for the CHC. As seniors, this is specifically our event, something nice for graduation, plus the full circle moment if we incorporate the sunset. For the King's Color Park, barbecue, and we really are emphasized on the PTO help because we really enjoy the like they do food, they help with the senior brunch and other little events. So nice to know that we and that's it.
This was just a wonderful idea that we have had. It was one of our ideas to change things that have always been the same, you know, because when Senior Sunset, going on the field and then watching a movie and then waiting for the sunset to, you know, go down and then everyone leaves. That was a great idea, but we wanted to do something different this year as of all our events that we're doing this year as well. Although there's nothing wrong with how it was before, it's just new ideas have always been coming in, and then it was just the execution that really didn't get there. So listening to the students and actually like propelling their ideas into reality was one of our main goals by having this idea and presenting it here today. So yeah, and then emphasis on the PTO's help though.
Project graduation. Project graduation.
Oh, project graduation. That would
Just
probably
project
be
graduation.
the audience to go to for here though. But any help would be appreciated to make this happen, of course, with the amount of food and of course the amount of students that are going to be there. It's going to take a lot of supervision as well. And probably the same amount of supervision that we've had at the talent shows here. But I know this event won't fall to the floor and it's going to get executed, rightfully so. So thank you so much again.
And I had one minor thing I just wanted to highlight. So recognition, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a part of HOSA. I'm the president, and we competed at states in April, end of April, yeah, like April 17th. We competed at states, and two of our qualifiers ended up qualifying for the national competition. So I just wanted to highlight that a little bit. HOSA is a competition for healthcare professionals, and you go and you compete at regionals first, and you qualify for states. So 12 of us went to regionals, and 6 of us ended up qualifying for states. And 5 of us went to states, and then now 2 of us are going to nationals. So I just wanted to highlight that. That's something that we did. So yeah.
I have a question. I do too. Go ahead, Misha.
Nobody said anything about bounce houses before. So we need to talk. We need to have a conversation.
Just a little further.
Yeah.
So, who do you contact for if you want to help? Misha? Okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
she'll get back to us.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let's give him a hand, guys.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I feel like I should apologize for my graduating class on writing the talent show for you guys. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask Miss Frank. I also have pictures. But thank you for reviving it after that debacle. And I can't believe it's been that long.
It's all right.
That's okay, you keep forgetting you've been out of school that long.
Next item on the agenda is presentation, Pierce Middle School annual update. Mr. Bowden.
Thank you, Madam President. So certainly our soon-to-be graduates are welcome to stay and hang out with us this evening. However, we understand that if you have other activities that you need to get to, you're certainly welcome to, but you're also welcome to stay. Wonderful presentation. And so at this time, we're going to go ahead and transition and turn it over to Principal Jackson and to Pierce Middle School to talk about many of the wonderful things that are taking place over at Pierce on a number of levels. And so with that, I will turn it over to Principal Jackson.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
But before I go into the presentation, I was looking at the young man who was standing here, and I'm like, that's Shrek.
That is right.
So, I have to give him a shout out because my grandchildren and my nephew loved your performance. And my mom asked me the other day, because my nephew's autistic, she said, what did you take them to see? Because we keep hearing about this play. I said, Shrek. She said, that's why he keeps saying Shrek, 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 Shrek. So you obviously made an impact because he is still talking about Shrek some couple of weeks later. So again, I am going to start off with the highlight from this school year with our Pierce cheer team who won this competition last year and they maintained their title this year. So please direct your attention to the screen. So you see they had their number one fan at the top of the bleachers.
Oh, I did correct you, I'm sorry.
I forgot. Number one fan in the audience here. Trust me, I heard you in the other video. I could hear you more than I could hear the cheerleaders in the other video. So, welcome to our Pierce Middle School presentation for tonight's board meeting.
So real quick, Principal Jackson, if I may, so they are two-time
They are
defending champions or
two-time.
three-time?
They are, the cheer team is 3, and the dance is 2.
Okay, so I mixed it up.
Thank
Number
you.
one fan.
Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you. Congratulations, outstanding.
Thank you. So I will definitely pass that on to our cheer coach.
Oh, I got your banners, don't worry about it.
I know. So we are working at Pierce to fulfill our vision of Eagles being educated, equipped, and empowered. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on our belief statements or our focus areas because I know you are already familiar with them, but focusing on what that vision is. So we are going to start talking about a balanced assessment system. And with our balanced assessment system, Pierce is using iReady as our district level assessment, which is given 3 times a year, at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and we are now in the end of the year assessment window. And so iReady, again, is a benchmark assessment to calculate growth. We are looking at growth from beginning of the year to end of the year. iReady measures how our student performs over an amount of time compared to their previous performance, again, BOY to EOY. iReady identifies performance in multiple domains, vocabulary, phonics, and there are several other domains that it also focuses on. iReady is looking at growth compared to peers nationwide. It also identifies if students are on track to be proficient on state assessments, MSTEP specifically. Our growth is essential to students to close this achievement gap and attain proficiency. MSTEP measures if students meet grade level standards. So when we look at our iReady growth starting, if you look at our fall to winter, because we're in the end of year assessment now, when you look at iReady, the green measures those students that are on grade level or mid or within 1 or 2 years below grade level. Yellow is that group that is kind of, again, right there in the middle, and we have our red that is 2, and then when you look at the red on the end with the lines through it, that's 3 or more grade levels. So when you look from bottom to top, we want to show a decrease in our red. So when we go from fall the first time to winter, we saw a 6% decrease in our students that were 2 or 3 grade levels below. When we look at, 7% when I calculate both red areas. With our yellow, we saw an increase of 4%. So we took those students that were red and moved them to yellow. We saw an increase of 2% with our students that were on green. So they moved from one area in the green to higher up within the green. And this is iReady ELA for reading. When we look at our math, similar graphic shows that in our math, we saw a decrease from fall to winter of 6% in our red. So we were moving those students higher up in their level of growth. We saw an increase of 1% in our yellow range, and we saw an increase of 5% from fall to winter in our green. So iReady is only looking at our reading and math growth. So now when we translate that to MSTEP, we want to look at MSTEP diagonally. So when I say diagonally, this is our group of students that tested last spring. So our sixth graders, which are now our current seventh graders, started at 23% proficient in reading. Our seventh graders, who are our current eighth graders, went from 20% of sixth graders to 27% last year. So they had a 7% increase. And then when you look at our eighth graders who took the PSAT, who are now the current ninth graders, they had an 18% increase from their seventh grade to their eighth grade. Math M-STEP. Didn't do as great as ELA or reading, but we made some growth. So again, starting with our sixth graders, who are now our current seventh graders, those students started at 15%. Our seventh graders, who are now our current eighth graders, grew 2% from their sixth to seventh grade year. And then our eighth graders from last year, who are current ninth graders, those students grew 1%. But if you also look horizontally at seventh grade, from one seventh grade year to the next seventh grade year, there was a 4% increase. So you can look at this math diagonally as well as horizontally. And if you look at this from 2023, this group grew all the way across from 6th to 8th grade. So then when we look at our social studies and M-STEP, social studies and science for M-STEP, keeping in mind that our eighth graders only take science and social studies in 8th grade. So our students had a 22% proficiency rate last year. Now, we had a different curriculum last school year. If you remember, we came and did that wonderful science presentation. And we adopted our new MyStar curriculum this year. So we should see how that curriculum change plays for testing this year for science. But we had a 16% increase for social studies for our eighth graders, who are now our current ninth graders, from 2024 to 2025. So here's what. We increased our M-STEP in grade 6. We saw a significant increase in the same cohort of students from grade 7 and 8. We had a slight increase in our M-STEP from grade 6 to 7 math and grade 7 to 8 math. We also saw an increase in our iReady math. We had a significant increase in our social studies M-STEP of 16%. So we're going to continue building positive culture and climate. We continue to look at alternatives to suspension. We continue to look at our PBIS house system. We're looking at a different character trait each month. We are looking at staff accountability on different levels. Now what's next? We want to remain consistent in our focus on culture and climate. We have monthly PBIS house assemblies. So that way students get to intermingle by grade as well as connect with staff that they may not necessarily have as teachers. And now the PBIS assemblies are being ran by our students. We continue to focus on our school-wide and class matrices. So if you visit Pierce, you see that huge matrix that's in the main hallway that sits in between my office and the counseling office. And then there's smaller matrices that are present in the hallways as well as in all the classrooms, in the restrooms, the cafeteria, and throughout the building to remind students at all times of what expectations are. We're also looking at champs in our classrooms to help with classroom management. We're continuing to look at the mental health needs of our staff and students. We are reviewing our master schedule each year to determine what will work best. We continue to look at academic interventions, whether it's through small group instruction or intervention classes. We have grade level teaming. I briefly mentioned alternatives to suspension. Examining and reviewing current and future curricula, as with our science curricular change last year and amplified 2 years prior to that. We are continuing family engagement opportunities with our PTO. We have a wonderful PTO. Please come out and join us on Wednesday. I'll come to that momentarily. Mental health awareness included with PTO. Summer school with an emphasis on core curricula in reading and math. So students have been informed at this point, if they have not been successful 2 or more quarters of the school year, they are required to attend summer school if they have not passed math and ELA or 3 of their 4 core classes, so that they are prepared for the next school year. Continuous plus Delta with staff around school decisions and common grading practices. So I know that we are all familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of school needs, as well as the South Retford School District Big 3. But as we continue to focus on the needs of our students, we want to continue to make sure Pierce is focusing on the whole child with support for social, emotional learning and support systems. We have 2 counselors and 3 social workers. Again, we've mentioned PBIS and our specialized committees. Our staff break up in our PBIS meetings to focus on parent involvement, the Sunshine Committee, fundraising, assembly planning, PBIS data and analysis, and student incentives. We talked about briefly our monthly house meetings and rewards. So students are given rewards on the Critter Coin, and they can purchase items out of our school store. Culturally and emotionally responsive teaching. We want to continue to focus on academics, making sure that we are recognizing monthly students of the month by grade level teams at our self-contained classes. We again have grade level teaming. We have intervention courses with Read 180 and small group instruction with math and ELA. And then we had field trips aligned to our curriculum. So this year the students went to the African American Museum in Detroit. I'm looking to Rosanna because she plans the field trip, so I always forget. They're going skating, which may not sound like it's aligned to the curriculum, but they have a lesson before they can skate. Would the science teachers have to identify what lesson they're going to have from the skating rink, whether it's aligned to physics, motion, so then they can actually skate. And that's just a couple. And then we have a plethora of clubs and activities. So I'm gonna come to those clubs and activities in a minute as we opened up with a highlight. So I mentioned our house points. Our students receive Critter Coin points, which are their house points, and they can use those points to purchase things from the school store. We talked about our monthly celebrations of students, but we also recognize a monthly staff member recognition. And that staff recognition is selected by the previous staff. So administration picks the staff recognition for the first month of the school year. We start pretty much in October. And then each month after that, the person who has received those awards selects the next person. So we have Sunshine, I always mix them up again, Rosanna, help me out. Sunshine, Service. It's 5 of them. I can't think of 5 of them off the top of my head. Prevention of conflict. We continuously meet with students to try to rectify their situations before it becomes conflict or it becomes something major. We again are working on that community building with PBIS and doing restorative work as well. So now, no presentation will be completed. We did not address our suspension data. So if you look at our suspension data over the 3-year trend, it is broken down by grade level. We started in March 2024. There were 583 students at Pierce, and we had a total of 190 suspensions. And please be mindful, this data is representative from September to March of each year. So that's from September 23 to March 24. So if you look at our current year, we had an increase in students. We now have 648 students. And we have a total from September to March, 255 suspensions, and the breakdown by grade level. We had roughly 256 graders come in to Pierce this year. So when you break it down, there have been 106 suspensions among 6th grade, 83 in 7th, and 66 in 8th. So again, looking at remaining culturally and emotionally responsive teaching, we want to make sure that our classroom content is real world applicable with connections for all students. So going back to what I mentioned about our presentation last year for science, we wanted to make sure that we were looking at curricula that was going to be hands-on and help students understand science in the real world in which we live. So they were doing an experiment last week or week before, they were on gravity. And they were doing an egg drop. Like, make sure you get all these eggs up out this hallway. But they were looking at different options in the curriculum that actually help them understand how science works. So we want to continue to analyze curriculum to ensure that windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors for all of our students, and making sure that we are including student voice. So these were just some of our wonderful pictures of our students. We have our esports team up top in the middle, which I'm going to talk about momentarily. In the top, my right, your left, right-hand corner, we have our PBIS Ice Cream Social. We have our drama club, which I'm going to talk about more momentarily. This year we had 2 different conflict resolution groups with Pretty Brown Girls and Dream Kings. We have our track team at the bottom practicing. Last week was Teacher Appreciation Week, and so the teachers were like little kids at the ice cream truck. And then you have Ms. Dupayron and myself. So I mentioned clubs and sports, and so when we look at Pierce, I tell people all the time, Pierce has more available to students than any school I've ever worked at. I kept the National Junior Honor Society on here because the goal is to bring it back next year. We have robotics. We have Omega Cheer and Dance, which we've already talked about. We have our student council, student voice. Kings and Queens should have, actually that's my oversight, it should have been substituted with Dream Kings as well as Pretty Brown Girls. We have our esports. We have baseball added this year. We have our drama club. We have football, volleyball, basketball, swim, track and field, softball, and wrestling. And there are a few of our highlights at the bottom. Pierce Varsity Mario Kart made it to the Esports State Championship this year on 4/25/26. They didn't move to the next competition, but they took it last year. Our cheer team, we just talked about, won first place in the Detroit PAL League Varsity Stunning Division. Our cheer team also won first place in the J-Cheer competition, and our dance team won second place in the J-Tier competition hip hop dance category. And just this past weekend, which actually started Thursday, our drama club did their first production at Pierce, the Brothers Grimm Spectacular-thon. So, current and upcoming work for Pierce. We want to continue maintaining a growth mindset among all our stakeholders. We want to continue collaborating through coaching, continue collaboration and coaching through observations and feedback. We will continue to promote high behavior and academic expectations. And we will also continue our monthly staff and student recognition. Ongoing professional learning, which is embedded in our calendar. We will continue to reevaluate our current curricula and practices to see where things need to be changed. We will continue to analyze and understand our data and value the input from our stakeholders, especially families. So that concludes my presentation. So it is now your turn with questions.
Chair?
Yes.
I just have one question for you. The suspensions, Is it in school and out of school combined, or one or the other?
So we do not have in-school suspension. We now have after-school detention and lunch detention. So those are out-of-school suspensions.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Anyone else?
I was ready for the questions, that's all.
I can ask you another one if you want.
It's up to you.
I guess my only other follow-up for you would be any patterns you've noticed in absenteeism. Has it gotten better or worse in the last year?
It depends on the time of year.
Really?
And I don't say that, you know, being facetious, it just depends on the time of year. When it's cold outside, how chronic absenteeism increases. We tend to see better attendance the beginning of the year, and when we get to this time of year, because everybody's coming to school because it's getting toward the end and they won't see their friends in the summer. So it just depends on the time of the school year.
Because I bleed blue, I would like to say that our football team went undefeated, and our girls and boys 8th grade basketball team also went undefeated this year too.
So now it's the school mom.
That's all right.
Well, thank you all.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Now, I think we will take about a 15-minute break at
7:15.
7:15. I call this meeting back to order at 7:30. Next item on the agenda is discuss owner representative agreement. Mr. Bob.
Thank you, Madam President. The board's decision approximately 5 years ago now to hire an owner's representative has simply been invaluable to the district. And therefore, I'm recommending that the board enter into a new contract for our owner's representative to align with the remaining renovation projects that we have pertaining to the 2021 bond improvements. And so the new contract would span the duration of July 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027. And having Lacole Planners services during our bond improvements again, have been simply invaluable to the district for a number of reasons. And this would be in line with the remaining about year and a half that we have pertaining to what's left for our bond improvements, primarily focusing on Thurston High School, which will begin its, the bulk of its bond renovations in this upcoming summer here in 2026. So this item is a discuss for tonight. And again, we are very grateful for the services, and our owner's representative has served the district extremely well and has put us in a great position when we think about the improvements taking place across the district over the course of these past 5 years and for the next year or so.
To the chair?
Yes.
Jason, will the board be getting a copy of the contract to review before we have the consideration at next week's board meeting?
Yes, and it went out last week, and we can send it again. And it would be
The actual contract?
Yes.
I know I remember seeing verbiage, but the printed contract that we
Yes.
enter into.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like you to rescind it then.
Yeah, no problem. Yep, we can do that. And that would just be a draft that went out previously, and we can do that.
Because it's usually attached.
Yes.
Well, the contracts we're approving are usually attached, so we can read it.
Yeah, no problem. You can send that again.
Any other questions? Concerns?
To the chair.
Yes.
Quick question for you, Jason. Does the owner's representative get paid out of the bond funds, or what account account does she get paid for?
Yes, she does.
She does. So how does that impact the bond funding? We have enough to cover this extension of her contract?
We do.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Okay. Next item on the agenda is discuss 2026-2027 Wayne Risa preliminary budget.
Thank you, Madam President. The board will open its discussion this evening to discuss the Wayne Risa preliminary budget for the upcoming 26-27 school year as it does annually. And the board received the Risa board budget links previously, and the board also has a copy of the Wayne Risa preliminary budget there in front of you this evening. Section 380.624 of the revised school code requires that each constituent school board of Wayne County Risa participate in Wayne Risa's budget development process. Not later than June 1st of each year, each local school board must review the proposed budget, adopt a board resolution expressing its support for or disapproval of the proposed budget, and submit to the Wayne County Risa board any objections as well as proposed changes that the constituent district board would recommend on Risa's budget. The Wayne Risa board is then obligated to consider the specific objections and/or proposed changes. Members of the Board of Education, this is also a discuss item for the board on this particular topic as it does annually, and again for your review. And then you also had your pamphlet from a meeting or two ago now that this is also in conjunction with for your further review for tonight's discussion, as well as upcoming meeting agendas that our board has pertaining to this topic.
The chair?
Yes.
Waiting for discussion?
Yes, I am.
I know Risa each year presents a very comprehensive budget, and they have a lot of thought into that, and they've been very fiscally responsible. So I think our board should consider just supporting it as presented.
Anyone else? Well,
I mean, I have a comment, but it's not really anything we
Okay.
can do about it.
you can express your comment.
I just noticed their fund balance seems to keep going down, but salaries and stuff are increasing, so I don't know how that's gonna look over time. If that's something we should be aware
What I'm
of,
going to
or,
do, I'm going to talk to Dr. DeVito about that.
okay. I'm sure they've already talked about it,
They
but
probably have.
it would help me understand better, because they've
Okay.
sent out like their little flyer that says how much money they help us with, and just want to make sure they're not bleeding themselves dry, for lack of a better term.
Fund balance down and salaries up.
Yeah.
Okay. That it? Next item on the agenda is discuss and consider third-party rentals of Thurston High School competitive track program.
Thank you, Madam President. At the board meeting on November 28, 2022, the Board of Education approved a resolution suspending third-party rentals of the Thurston High School competitive track and field until further notice. Since that time, requests for limited third-party use of the facility have continued to be reviewed by the district on a case-by-case basis, utilizing the rental rates and procedures previously in effect prior to its suspension. The attached resolution would lift the suspension of third-party rentals established by the November 28, 2022 resolution and authorizes the superintendent or designee to administer limited third-party rentals of the Thurston High School competitive track and field in accordance with district policies, administrative procedures, scheduling availability, as well as operational considerations. Following any additional discussion from the board on this topic this evening is a resolution for the board's consideration.
Waiting for discussion. There are none. Okay. So, do I have a board member willing to adopt the resolution?
Madam President,
Yes?
I move the adoption of the following resolution.
Do I have a support?
Support.
It's been moved by Mrs. Gurley and supported by Mr. Winston. All in favor? Aye. Any nays?
Nay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I need a roll call.
Okay. Anthony Johnson. Aye. Ward Hicks.
Nay.
Amanda Flesher.
Aye.
Cheryl Flesher.
Aye.
Keisha Early.
Aye.
Daniel Winston. Yes. Shirley Tolliver.
Aye. 6 ayes, 1 nay. Resolution adopted. Next item on the agenda is comments from the audience, topics not related to the agenda.
You have one.
Okay.
Are you ladies coming up together or are you coming up separately? I know last time y'all kind of. Okay, I know last time y'all kind of. Yes. The board welcomes comments from the public and values the input our stakeholders bring to the table. The president respectfully reminds all of us this is not a forum for debate. The board may choose to ask clarifying questions regarding and express concern, but will not respond to the concern at the meeting. You can expect a timely response from the appropriate individual. Personal matters cannot and will not be discussed in this forum. All right, so we have Brenda Meeks and Linda Simmons Mosley. All right, so you have 3 minutes.
Basically, we're here just for a follow-up, because we need to form our schedule for the upcoming year. We're assuming with no response that you're still considering it, but we need to have some type of feedback as to whether or not we want to put you on our schedule for participation with your school in the fall, September.
Okay. I just brought some handouts for each of you, the purposes of the Optimist Club as well as the Optimist Creed. I wanted to make sure every board member had a copy of each. But as you stated, we just want to know where we stand with it, so we know where we can go further with this project. Hopefully, you have accepted our proposal, because we really do want to help the children in this area. Has there been any discussion as to what you want to do?
Does everybody understand what the Optimist Club does? Okay. Are there any discussion on that?
I guess I have a clarifying question. Wouldn't the establishment of clubs and all that just be determined by the school and this guy over here to my left?
Yes.
So it's not really a board decision.
But we need to have a say.
So yeah, we've had conversations with the administrative team on the topic on a couple of different occasions, and we provided the information that was shared at a previous board meeting, and we will certainly have either myself or someone from the administrative team follow up about our interest for next year. I do know that we've had quite a bit of dialogue about it, and there is some interest, and so we'll circle back to that level of interest, and either myself or somebody else from the administrative team from, said individual building will be reaching out directly.
Do you have a time frame that you can tell them when you'll respond so that they can either get us on the calendar or not?
Yeah, it will be this month.
Okay.
Yeah. We've met on the opportunity a couple of different times.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is Plus Delta for Improvement. This is the case.
Madam President, what processes help the board's work tonight? Process.
To the chair,
Yes?
I have 2 pluses for tonight. First one was, I really enjoyed having student council on our agenda.
Yes.
And they could present and then leave timely, and I hope it'll continue next year with the new student council. And then my second plus is, I think it really helped me ahead of time to have fruitful discussions with both yourself and Superintendent Bob Ravetsky prior to the agenda coming to the table. Got all my questions and stuff answered, and I liked our conversations, so.
Thank you. Any other pluses?
Opportunities for improvement. What processes would help the board's work in the future? Delta.
To the chair?
Yes.
I guess one slight delta for today would be, I wish there were more staff presence from Pierce. So, I don't know if they were busy or what, but I like when the staff comes in and hearing from them too.
I have a delta.
Yes.
Some of the speakers over there, they speak so softly you can hardly hear them. And I find myself straining to hear them sometimes. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have to see what we can do about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, there's nothing further that comes before this board.
7:45.
I adjourn this meeting at 7:45.